Happy Thursday. Man, baseball is so easy to predict, isn't it? Let's talk some more scene. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I am your host, Steven, and I am frustrated with baseball right now. That's for sure. Man, 1-2 day yesterday, like I keep saying for the last 5-6 days in a row now. We're 2-2, 2-3, 1-2. It just, I know it's coming. You guys know it's coming, but we just got to stick to the grind. More on the recap in a little bit, but I wanted to start something. I may not do this every day, but just kind of talk briefly about what just happened. And I'm going to call this the wild things we just saw today. So let's just pull it up because today was wild, guys. First, we start out with 4 struggling starting pitchers. And when I say struggling, I mean that's an understatement. Sean Newcomb, Patrick Corbin, who's been struggling for a decade, Bailey Falter, and Dean Kramer have all been miserable. What they do today combined for 22.1 innings, only 2 earned runs given up on 15 hits allowed. 3 of those 4 got the win. And you know what? Newcomb didn't get the win because his team didn't support him, but they still won the game 1-0. Insane. Absolutely wild. And then you guys saw this earlier today. We had Austin Riley for a hit, no chance. But look at the top 3 hitters in the lineup for the Braves today. Michael Harris, 0 for 4, 4 Ks. Austin Riley, 0 for 4, 4 Ks. And Matt Olson, 1 for 4 with 3 Ks. 11 strikeouts by the first 3 guys. That has to be a record. I don't even know how to look it up. But anyways, just something to want to talk about whenever we have crazy days like this in baseball. Again, if you don't like hearing it, you can always fast forward and get to where you need to be. But anyways, that's what I have. But as you guys know, any graphics you see in this video are from an app called OUTLIER. It is the best betting research tool on the market today. You guys got to try it out, and it doesn't hurt. All you got to do is click the link below in the description. You get a 7-day free trial. So let's get into it. I got MLB fun facts, and actually they're both for the San Francisco Giants. The most recent Giants player to hit 30 or more home runs, can you guess it? It's Barry Bonds. That was a long time ago, guys. 2004, I believe it was, maybe 2002. Also, the last person to get 30-plus stolen bases, how about Dave Roberts? That's right. He was the most recent with 30 or more stolen bases for the Giants in 2007. I don't mean to make fun of you guys, but your Giants right now are absolutely steamrolling teams. Their offense is on a roll. But either way, in this video, we're going to recap yesterday like we always do. Then we're going to talk good and bad hitter matchups. And then, like I said, we're going to talk who's on fire today, the hottest hitters in the major leagues the last 7 days. And then, of course, we'll go over the full pitcher report and then give you the best bets and the bets recap. So hit that like button if you haven't already. Leave a comment below. Helps this channel continue to grow. If you're new to the channel, come join this awesome community. We are now getting closer to 40,000 subscribers, almost 5,000 in the Discord. Go join that as well. It's free. Just having a ton of fun talking sports and betting with you guys every single day. So let's get this party started. And that means it's recap time. All right, there it is. The 1-2 day. The only winner, an added play, Robbie Ray, under 16.5 outs, never a doubt. He threw like 35 pitches in the first inning. That was a nice, easy winner. But Austin Riley, you guys know, 0 for 4 with 4 Ks. But guess what? It didn't matter because Stephen Kwan, I cannot hit Stephen Kwan to save my life. I'm going to be taking a break from him. He went 0 for 4 as well against Dean Kramer, who is now the next Nolan Ryan. Cleveland and Tampa Bay team total parlay. Cleveland had so many chances, bases loaded, nobody out, couldn't get anybody in. They scored 1. It didn't matter. The Tampa Bay Rays, one of the hottest offenses in the major leagues, got completely shut out. This was a horrendous bet. Just a horrendous bet. Over 8 runs, Arizona, Miami. Lucky to get a push, but there was also a lot of chances early in the game where Miami just could not get the big hit with guys on base. So it is what it is. We take a push, 1-2, again, all half-unit plays. So lost just over a half unit with some juice, but down 2.8 units. I'm just sick of these 500 days and these small losing days. We're due for a hot streak. I know it's coming. We got a ridiculously long season, 145 more games or something like that left. So we'll get it back. But anyways, that's the recap we have. And now let's talk the hitter matchups. All right, we got 10 good hitter matchups for you today, starting with, how about a couple Seattle Mariners? In fact, there's 3 on the left side. It is breaking news. There's also 1 on the right side. I mean, guys, we've had like 1 all year. But Jorge Polanco, Cal Raleigh, Julio Rodriguez, and then Luke Raley over there on the right side, all are hitting Brady Singer pretty well. Julio 3 for 9. You see Polanco kind of on the border of good hitter matchup, but 8 for 27 with a couple bombs. And then Cal is 3 extra base hits and a bomb, 5 for 14 off of him. And then you see the man, the myth, the legend, Bobby Witt, 6 for 11, 4 extra base hits, and 2 home runs versus Reese's Pieces. You got to love to see that as a Royals fan. And then over there on the right side, we haven't talked much about Marcus Semien, kind of a slower start, but 3 for 7 off of cocaine. And then Sosa up there, 4 for 9 versus JP Sears. So That's what we got for the good hitter matchups. Now let's talk the bad hitters, and we only got 4. One of them is a Seattle Mariner. Randy Arozarena, 1 for 10, 2 Ks off Singer. You see Nimmo 1 for 10 with a K off Palante, and then Rosario up there as well as Josh Bell. So that's what we got for all the hitter matchups. And now let's talk who's on fire. All right, like we do every week, we're going to talk the hot hitters. Some of you guys had some names for this segment. I think it was like Fire Sticks or Firewood. I have no idea. Can you leave that comment again? And also, if you guys have an idea, let me know. Right now, it's just who's on fire. But we only got 1 page. You're going to see a lot more pages as the weather gets warmer and we get closer to the summer. But 1 page right here, Austin Riley. I don't even want to talk about him. I'm not happy with him right now. But as you can see, all these are 20 or more at-bats and 340 average or higher. If it's in green, they're leading their way. You see down there Bobby Witt and Jonathan Aranda, 450 average each, as well as, and then you got Austin Riley obviously leading with home runs, along with Michael Busch and Junior Caminero. Again, the Rays got nothing today, but Alex Bregman, 391. Trevor Story needing a comeback year, 423 average the last 7 days. You see Pete Alonso, my goodness, that guy's crushing the ball. 429 with 6 ribbies. I know some of you guys like to bet RBI props, and I'm going to dive into those as well here shortly. But anyways, that's what we got. Stephen Kwan, 2 hitters that just let me down going 0 for 4 are on this list. But either way, also Brendan Donovan, just want to mention him. He has been having a pretty good season as well. So that's what we got for the hitters on fire in the last 7 days. And now let's take a look at the pitcher report. All right, we start out with the first 5 matchups of the day, and like I usually do, I'll just say some notes about different pitchers. But we got Eduardo versus Edward. That's right, Edward Scissorhands Cabrera against Eduardo Rodriguez. If you don't know, Rodriguez, the lefty, he's been inconsistent. 5-12 and 3 Ks in the 3 starts, 3-4 and 2 earned runs. He's usually good for giving up a few earned runs every time, but again, he's a hit and miss. He can walk some guys. He can just be all over the place, or he could look good. But Edward Cabrera, making his second start, had problems with his command last year. In his first start, how about already 3 walks? So, we'll see. It's kind of a wild card there as well. But Trevor Williams versus Andrew Heaney, you see there in Pittsburgh. And then Brian Wu versus Brady Singer in Cincinnati. Wu, if you don't know, is a guy who's great at limiting hits and has excellent command, like most of the Seattle Mariners starting pitchers. Great at home, great 2 home starts, and then 1 bad road start, which seems to be the case for a lot of Mariners pitchers. And then J.P. Sears versus Davis Martin. Davis Martin for the White Sox, 2 great starts and 1 awful. He gave up 7 earned runs versus Detroit, but 1 total earned run in the other 2 starts against Boston and the Angels. And then Jordan Hicks versus Christopher Sanchez. Hicks, rough last 2 starts. He had a 1 hitter in his first start, and then after that, he gave up 14 hits in his last 2. And then Christopher Sanchez, good lefty pitcher for the Phillies, 2 great starts and 1 bad one. But again, that was against the Dodgers. So if you're new to this, you can see all the 2024 averages, just because it's a bigger sample size, are on the bottom, so you have something to compare it to. But we like to use walks, expected ERA, as you see, to tell if a guy's getting lucky, all that kind of stuff. Hits per 9, so on and so on. So take a screenshot. That's what we got for page 1. Now let's move over to page 2. And here are the last 5 matchups. We got Tanner Bybee versus Sugar. Bybee, K rate is way down, 26.3% last year. How about 15.9, as you see right there? And his walk rate is up. That's not a good combo, by the way. And then Sugar, can't miss a bat to save his life, 8.1%. I mean, it is just atrocious right now. The same as your walk rate. That is never good. And then Lorenzen versus Reese Olson in Detroit. And then Will Warren versus Taj Bradley, who's always been a better pitcher at home. Bradley's been pretty consistent, at least with Ks. 7 strikeouts in all 3 starts. He's been good in his 2 home starts. And like I said, he was good at home last year as well. And then Palante versus Canning. Palante, good start for him. Been a bit lucky, but 10 hits and 16.1 innings, 7 walks already as well, though. And then down there, Kumar Rocker, a guy that everyone is expecting to dominate, the once top prospect. He is struggling, 7.94 ERA. He's given up 6, 1, and 3 earned runs so far, and he's only got 6 Ks in 11.1 innings. He was a guy that everyone thought was going to be striking out 6, 7, 8 guys every start. It just has not happened. His command hasn't been there. His pitches have been very hittable, so he has struggled a little bit. But thank you for letting me ramble. I always like talking the whole pitcher report just so you guys have an idea what's going on for that day. But that's what we got for all the research help, and now it is time for the best bets. All right, this first one takes us out to Cincinnati, but before we get into it, just have to mention some breaking news. It's not really that big of news, but there was a pitching change in this game in the middle of recording, so all those Brian Wu numbers you just saw in the pitcher report, ignore them. It is now Emerson Hancock, and that's what makes me really like this bet. So let's get into it. Mariners moneyline -118, Reds moneyline -102 with a total of 8 runs. My best bet is the Reds team total over 1.5 runs in the first 5 innings, -125 on DraftKings. Yeah, again, this is a half unit play. I gave this out on X right away, just in case the books change these numbers and all that as well. But this starting pitcher change is a big deal here. Emerson Hancock is not good. I'll just say that. That's a very nice way of putting it. He's absolutely horrendous, to be honest. But he's made one start before being demoted this year, gave up 6 earned runs in .2 innings. How's that against the Tigers? And he had 0 strikeouts. Now, last season, 4.75 ERA, 5.92 expected ERA. This man cannot miss bats. 14.7% K rate, over 9 hits per 9 innings. He was once a top prospect, a guy that I was anticipating to be in the top 5 or in our rotation as one of the studs with Logan Gilbert and everybody else. He is not. In fact, he turned into an absolute Christmas tree, getting lit up constantly. Now, the Reds offense, they've scored 4+ runs in 5 of the last 6 games, 3+ runs in 6 straight. Having Matt McLean back at the top of the order obviously makes them better. But to be honest, I'm not going to sit here and say the Reds are some top 5 elite offense. They've been pretty decent lately. Any decent offense should easily get 2+ runs. Again, we just saw the Tigers get 1 million in the first inning off Hancock, and that was not a fluke. I've seen him pitch before. Again, you never know in MLB, but all we need is a bloop and a blast, and we can get this one. So it's a complete fade of Hancock. As a Mariners fan, maybe he'll just absolutely dominate now that I'm making fun of him, because that seems to be how it's going lately. But I'm not going to overthink it. Give me the Reds team total over 1.5 in the first 5 innings. If you can't get that, I also like over 3.5 in the full game. But that is my first best bet. All right, the second one takes us out to Philadelphia, where the Phillies host the San Francisco Giants. Phillies on the money line -175, Giants on the money line +145 with a total of 7.5 runs, and that's exactly where I'm going. Give me the over 7.5 runs, -118 on DraftKings. Again, a half unit play. I almost went Giants money line as my underdog special because they have been playing really well. Giants have won 2 of the first 3 in this series. These totals continue to be low in this series, and I just really don't get it. I wish I'd been on it every single time. But so far in the first 3 games, how about 14, 10, and 15 runs scored total? It's been crazy. Last night's total was 7.5. Some people thought it was a trap and all that kind of stuff. I wish I bet it. I was close to doing it. And they scored 1 million runs. So the starting pitcher matchup, Jordan Hicks versus Christopher Sanchez. Let's talk Hicks real quick. He's just not very good, in my opinion. I thought he was going to be a better pitcher these last couple of years as he transitioned to be a starter. His only good start was his first one against a terrible Astros offense they haven't done anything all year, it seems like. Last 2 starts, he went 5.1 innings, gave up 6 hits and 3 earned runs versus Seattle. 4 innings, 8 hits, and 7 earned runs allowed in the other start. 8 Ks and 4 walks total in the last 2 starts. The command hasn't been there. He's not missing a ton of bats. He struggles versus lefties, giving up a .290 average, .413 on-base percentage. Could be good for Harper and Schwarber, just a little mention there. But Phillies should be able to get some runs off him. Now, this next guy, this might be why the line is low, but still, I think it's too low. But Christopher Sanchez, the lefty, he's been good at home. That's for sure. That's probably what's keeping this line at 7.5, like I mentioned. But overall this year, still giving up 18 hits and 17.1 innings. One of those starts was at home against the Rockies offense. We know how good Colorado is outside of Coors Field. Sanchez is a good pitcher. I'm not sitting here bashing him. I like Sanchez, but the Giants' bats have been absolutely scorching hot. Giants' offense overall, top 5 in runs scored. Have already scored 25 runs in the first 3 games. Scored 4+ runs now in 7 straight games. Over this 7.5 line in 83% of their road games. That is just wild to me. Now, I will say this. The Giants do hit righties better, although it's a small sample size right now. But they're still right around average for lefties in the small sample size, so I'm not too worried. Again, maybe that's why this line is a little bit lower as well. Bullpens are a bit tired. They've been getting a lot of work, a lot of runs in this game. So I like runs. Give me the over 7.5 runs as my second best bet. All right, this third one is a hitter parlay after the absolute debacle of Quan and Austin Riley yesterday, going 0 for 8 with like 4 or 5 Ks. Well, it's all Riley with the Ks, but let's get a freaking winner. Corbin Carroll, Bobby Witt, 1+ hit each, -118 on DraftKings. Let's talk Corbin Carroll first. He's been a monster. He's on a 9-game hitting streak. He actually has 2+ hits in 5 of the last 7. Not a bad idea if you want to sprinkle a little something on his over 1.5 hits, but he's the leadoff hitter for a very good offense, which is why you usually see him getting at least 5 at-bats, 5 chances. I mean, you got to love your opportunities there. Now facing Edward Cabrera. He's only pitched once this season, like we mentioned earlier. Gave up 4 hits in 5.2 innings. He gave up a decent 7.7 hits per 9 innings last year. So I mean, he limits hits for a decent amount, but it's nothing special. And after him is a below-average Marlins bullpen that are taxed already from these first 2 games. Carroll hitting .338 on the season. I just need one stinking hit to extend this 9-game hitting streak. So give me Carroll. Second one, Bobby Witt. I almost win as over 1.5 bases. I was hoping to get at least even money, plus 110. The books were not letting me have it, but that's not a bad option either. We know how good Bobby Witt is. He's absolutely crushed Reese Olson. Reese Olson, as I mentioned earlier, 6 for 11 with 4 extra base hits off him. Witt is on a 9-game hitting streak as well. He has 2+ hits in 3 of his last 6. I like him to stay hot. I have 2 guys at the top of their batting order that are both on 9-game win streaks. What could go wrong? But that is my third best bet. All right, surprise. It is time for the RBI props. We did this a little bit last year. I wanted to get into it again. So here's the deal. I might not do this every day, but it's all plus money props. These are going to be a quarter unit each for me. Personally, this is not a parlay. These are all individual bets. So I got 3 of them for you. The first one, Jonathan Aranda, 1+ RBI, plus 190 on DraftKings here. He's had a great start to the season. He is a lefty who doesn't always hit against lefties, but he has crushed righties. This season versus righties, how about hitting 452 with all 11 of his RBIs? Facing Will Warren, the righty, nothing special here. Gave up 8 earned runs in 14 innings already. Giving up a 294 average and 529 slugging to lefties in his career. So you love to see that. Other than yesterday, I like this Rays offense as well. I think he'll get some chances here. It's a high total in this game. Aranda has 10 RBIs in his last 10 games, 1+ RBI in 6 of his last 10. Like I said, great weather, great hitting conditions, plus 190. Gotta love that price. So I'll take Aranda. Second one, Cal Raleigh, a Seattle Mariner. How about that? Plus 145 on DraftKings. Absolutely crushing the ball lately. 1+ RBI in 4 of his last 5 games, 2+ RBIs in 3 of his last 5. You saw it earlier. He's also 5 for 14 with 3 extra base hits off Brady Singer, so he sees the ball well against them. Reds bullpen, nothing to worry about here, in my opinion, as well. And the Mariners have just been swinging it well. Top 10 offense lately, especially when they get away from Seattle. They hit the ball better. I am surprised with how well they have been hitting it, but they're seeing the ball well in Cincinnati, so I think he's going to get some guys on base, have some chances here. Give me Cal as my second RBI prop of the night. And my third one, Polar Bear Pete Alonso, 1+ RBI, hitting 356 on the season. He is 6 for his last 10. This man is absolutely scorching hot. In fact, he has 1+ RBI in 3 straight games. Of course, Francisco Lindor, Juan Soto are in front of him. He's going to get his chances. Facing Andre Palante, only faced him 3 times, 1 for 3. Palante's pitched well so far, but he's been a little bit lucky. He does have 7 walks. So hopefully he walks Lindor and or Soto and not Pete Alonso to give him some chances. But this could be sac, fly, home run. This guy can do it in so many ways. Give me Pete Alonso. So that's what I got. I got a full card, a lot of hitters here. Those are my 3 best bets, as well as my 3 RBI props and all the research help you need for Thursday. But before we get out of here, let's check out the recap. All right, there it is. We start with the Reds team total over 1.5 runs. First 5 innings, minus 125. Gave this out right away once I saw the Mariners switch to Emerson Hancock as the starting pitcher. And then second bet, over 7.5 runs. Giants, Phillies, minus 118 for half unit. And then Bobby Witt and Corbin Carroll, 1+ hit each, minus 118 on DraftKings. And then RBI props. Again, these are a quarter unit each, not a parlay. At least for me, you guys obviously do whatever you need to do. We just explained them, but Jonathan Aranda, 1+ RBI, Cal Raleigh, 1+, and Pete Alonso, 1+ RBI for plus 190, plus 145, and plus 140. We're going to be doing more of those. I think there's a lot of value in some of these RBI props with these numbers that we're getting. So that's what I got for the recap. Thank you guys, as always, for watching. I appreciate the support. I'm motivated, determined to turn this little cold streak we have, turn it around. But again, we got a long season. So thanks again for watching. Hope you have a great Thursday, and we'll talk to you soon.